Hi guys, welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner. Today I thought I would share with you a mixed media project. Now this is a very clean and simple, small mixed media project. Very little on the mixed media really. But I wanted to put together a little keepsake for my husband from a trip that we took this weekend over to the west coast of Florida, where we went to a restaurant that we both really enjoyed called the Crab Shack. And with this dinner, my husband ordered a mixed drink, which came in a souvenir glass. And when we left, they handed us the glass, and it was all wrapped up in this mesh wrapper and wrapped in this beautiful paper that depicted words that had to do with the restaurant. And when I saw it, I knew I was going to have to make him something, because he is the keeper. He's that person. He likes to collect things that are tangible that he can hold. I like to get rid of everything and take a photograph, right? So we're a good mix that way. So my idea is to use a little texture paste, a little gesso, and a little glitter, and some die cuts, just regular C-type die cuts, which they're all Gina Marie Designs die cuts that I'll be using today. So I'm going to take a piece of this tissue paper and I'm going to cut out a 5x7 square, which is the size of the canvas that I'm using. The canvases came in a set of 3. They were very inexpensive at my local big box store. And I'm just going to be cutting out a 5x7 piece of paper. I'm going to put my gesso down on my board and lay my paper right on top of it, and then I'm somehow going to get just one section on the left hand side with this mesh to represent like a fishing net, right? I wanted to keep the blues in there and bring in some corals, so that's where I went with this. So I've gone ahead and I put the gesso down and I put the paper down, and I used some of the words that reflected what I remembered most. So they do a line dance every hour on the hour, the wait staff does. So I wanted the word dance, I wanted the word crab, and I wanted the word shrimp, all kind of showing, because that's what we remember most. We had a lot of shrimp, we had a lot of crab, and the entertainment was spectacular. So it was really quite fun. So I'm going to be putting this little mesh, it's like a little plastic mesh, on just the left hand side, and I'm going to be tying it in the middle because I wanted to bring a different, I didn't want it to be all the same look going all the way down. Originally I thought I would leave it really short on the top and fanning out to the bottom to make it wider, but in the end I decided that I just wanted to bring it together in the middle and make it smaller in the middle. So I'm using just a little piece of embroidery floss to do that. I've already colored my pieces. I'm only going to be using the 4. I didn't use the big sand dollar. I'm using a starfish, which I did in blue, and a sand dollar, which has a little bit of pink, and then some corally just bordering on red for my lobster and my crab. And the idea is I want to kind of hide them back in this mesh to make it look like they're a part of the scene without them being front forward and looking like they're paper cutouts. I did use 110-pound Nina cardstock for my die cuts, so they're quite sturdy. Now originally I thought I would put the sand dollar on the top and the star like all on the kind of top middle section. I actually decided to put it more in the middle and leave those 2 on top because they were quite light and they kind of got lost behind the mesh, whereas the crab and the lobster really looked quite good behind the mesh. I thought I wanted those 2 elements to be more front and center. So I'm going to be taking those out. I'm going to be popping them up. I'm going to be popping up all of those die cuts with some double-sided foam tape that's not real tall, just to give it just a little bit more dimension. And I'll be putting them down with the Ranger collage glue, and then I'm going to be adding some texture paste in the corner. So right now, like I said, I put a little piece of tape behind both of these little pieces, my little crab and my little lobster, and I'm setting them right underneath the mesh. And I think that the colors, that corally color, goes so good with the white and the blue that's in this little 5x7 frame. So I'm going to pop them up, and then I'm going to glue down my I'm going to pop them up with the tape. That's going to keep those down. I'm not worried about that. But the two that I'm going to be putting in the middle, I'm going to be popping. I don't remember if I popped them up or not. I think I might have just used the collage medium. I'm not sure. So yes, I did indeed pop it up with some double-sided foam tape. And then I also used some Ranger's Collage Medium to adhere it, you know, in between the mesh and the board itself. But it didn't really stick very well. So I grabbed some sticky tack glue, or some fast tack, you know, sticky glue, and I used that as well as a collage medium, and then I put an acrylic block on top of it for a few minutes, walked away, came back, and it was adhered no problem. Now I think if I did this again, I might use just a little bit of hot glue right there if I were going to be selling this, or if I were going to be mailing it maybe. But because it's just going in our curio in our living room, I'm not that concerned. It's still stuck down, but I have a feeling that it's probably going to pop up over time. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. So now I'm going to be adding the texture paste. Now I had two different types of texture paste. I had, well, I have many types, but they're all the same color. I had clear texture paste and white texture paste. I did go with the white Ranger texture paste, and my idea behind the texture paste was to make it look like little areas of sand. So I'm doing it in threes. I'm going to be doing one in the bottom left hand corner. I'm going to be putting another section in the right hand corner of the mesh, and then just a little bit in the medium section, or in the middle section of the mesh as well. So you probably aren't going to be able to see all of this off camera because I was off camera. And then I'm adding some of my Elizabeth's Crafts glitter, which is my favorite glitter. And I'm adding the glitter right on the top of the wet texture paste, because when it dries, it's really going to look just like sand. It's going to sparkle and look just like the white sands of the west coast of Florida. So I really truly enjoyed this process. It was pretty quick. I mean, it didn't take long at all. And I love how clean and simple it is. I love the colors of it. I think it turned out stunning. I did already show it to my husband, and he is in love with it, absolutely in love with it. So I thought that I would just come on and share it with you. I think it is such a nice thing when you can create with your own hands and your own heart and your own mind something, a remembrance of a moment in time that you got to spend with your loved one. And the fact that they appreciate it and love it as well is super, super special to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video and my small little process of it. And I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.